All right, Rob, this is interesting. You're the lead lawyer on this Obamacare challenge. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear it. First of all, there's some questions about when the oral arguments will take place, when the ruling will take place, given that this is an election year. What do you expect?
Well, we know the court has granted review. The Supreme Court said they'll take the case next term. And because it's one of the first cases the Supreme Court has agreed to consider in the term starting the fall, it's highly likely the case will be heard either in October or November. We just don't have an exact date yet.
All right, so talk to me about the argument, because your argument, I believe, is twofold. It's not just that the individual mandate penalty is unconstitutional since Congress zeroed out, or not just the mandate is unconstitutional since Congress zeroed out the penalty, but that because the mandate is unconstitutional, that should render the entire law to be unconstitutional as well? Explain that to us.
Well, that's exactly right. And our argument actually depends upon the clear language that Justice Roberts wrote in the original Affordable Care Act case, where he said that the individual mandate alone, the command in Obamacare that individuals must buy the health insurance the government tells them to, that was unconstitutional. But because there was this separate penalty that generated revenue for the federal government, the Supreme Court then said, well, we can construe that all as an exercise of taxing power. Now, we know the penalty was eliminated, and so now it does not generate revenue for the federal government. So the only thing that's left is the individual mandate, which the Supreme Court has already said is unconstitutional. And furthermore, the entire premise of the Affordable Care Act was the individual mandate. And so because that provision is inextricably intertwined with the entirety of the Affordable Care Act, the courts can't just separate it off. And so as a result, our argument is that the entire Affordable Care Act must be struck down by the Supreme Court.